The Moshi Versacover was one of my go-to cases for the iPad 2s and 3s. That was, years ago. Is it the same now as it was back then? No. But out of all the slim cases that I have in my collection, this is the only case that I feel is a worthy alternative to the Apple Smart Folio. Why? Because this is the only case in my collection that allows you to use it in landscape mode.
So I realized something when I was editing this video. Every single time I say I really like landscape mode, I mean portrait mode. This way, not this way. Oopsies.
Now before you go smash my Amazon link to buy this product, there's a couple of things you need to realize before buying it, because it may turn you off from it. At MobileReviewsEh, Monty and I, this bow tie wearing puppy, and I, me, Aaron, base our videos on actual usage. Now from my perspective, actual usage, comes in many forms, like keeping track of how companies change over time. I've been using Moshi products for years now, and there's actually a couple of things that I've noticed over the last few years that, have made me really pay attention to Moshi, but not in a great way, we'll say. There's something on this case that bothers me a lot, and I'm gonna let you guys see if you can see it. When it comes to fit, the cover performs as expected, but the case is terrible. It's incredibly loose. Now this problem isn't specific to Moshi, as Spigen and ESR cases have similarly weak polycarbonate shells. Honestly, there is nothing more unnerving than putting your iPad in a really flimsy polycarbonate shell that feels like it's going to come off of your iPad like Dwight's tearaway suit from The Office. Now the shell does have a bit of a matte finish, so fingerprinting won't be an issue. Now the Moshi Versa cover comes with a large magnetic flap to keep the cover on the iPad. It also does a great job of keeping your Apple Pencil secure, and if you don't have an Apple Pencil, there's enough give in the fold that it won't shame you for not having an Apple Pencil. This larger than average flap will also help you if you decide to use a glass screen protector with your iPad Pro. But this case will shame you for having a camera on your iPad because the flap covers it. Why? Now the cover has a microfiber interior and the exterior has a leather looking finish to it, though I don't think it's real leather, but I'll say it holds up from a wear and tear perspective because coins and keys and other mildly sharp objects may not scratch the finish on this cover. The Moshi Versa cover won't slide around easily as the flap provides a bit of friction. The cover on the Versa cover also supports auto wake and sleep functions. The case at its thickest point is 13.1 millimeters, whereas in the Apple Smart cover is only 10.9 millimeters. Honestly, that thickness difference between this product and this product is not a big deal, but I may be biased because I've been using a ton of keyboard cases in the last while, and those things are just so bulky. The finish on the cover is slicker than Apple's own cases, though the Versa cover is going to handle better than the average third-party case, as a magnetic latch provides a decent area to hold on to. When it comes to functionality, you can easily access all the buttons on your iPad because none of them are covered. Port access is unhindered and the camera is easily accessible when the flap is open. And you can actually use the camera when the flap is closed, so yeah. So if you are smashing the Amazon link to buy this product, make sure that in the product photo it shows an appropriate size cutout, one that doesn't cover the camera. Two-handed usage of the iPad is decent, as the microfiber provides your fingers with a lot of stuff to grip onto. It's just a good texture to hold your iPad like so. Marathon COD mobile sessions will be quite possible with this case. Now the standout feature of this product is the cover. It's not explicitly stated on the box, but on Moshi's website they call it the iPad origami case, and it's a great name for it. Most cases come with two viewing angles, elevated typing, movie watching, whereas the Versa cover also comes with landscape mode, which is very handy when you're cooking from recipes in your kitchen. From my perspective anyways. When it comes to protection, this slim case will offer your iPad better than average protection than Apple's own case because the flap keeps everything together, and the super weak polycarbonate shell does have stuff over the corner, so if you accidentally drop it, it may stop your iPad from breaking, or getting dented, or scuffing, or just general badness to something that you shouldn't be dropping. Now it should be pretty obvious the thing that annoys me the most about this product and potentially adds to my slightly declining opinion of Moshi as a iOS accessory manufacturing, and that has to deal with the fact that this flap covers the camera. This flap works well for the case for the iPad Pro 2018s because there was only one, but because this new iPad, it's being used in the teleprompter, has an extra lens as well as a Pro LiDAR camera, this flap covers it all. And like, they put a back onto it with the cover like full. No, like this is like Moshi purposely manufactured a product knowing that this has happened. This isn't a prototype. This is an actual product. And that makes me so sad because I like Moshi, but some of the latest cases, they changed some of the materials on some of the smaller things, and functionality-wise still works, but it's missing that above average feel in terms of the products. You know, the materials is what made the product so special. You know, this just kind of adds to the half-assedness, I'll say, because this shouldn't happen. So that's all I got for this video. Questions, comments, leave them down there. I don't know which iPad Slim case I'm going to review next because I'm still very unenthused to review the one from ESR as well as the one from Spigen, because like it's a bleh product. Honestly, these Apple Smart Folio cases, as expensive as they are, they just work. First time watching my videos, I do encourage you to click subscribe. I'm the only tech review channel that has a dog as a host. Landscape mode. So handy. Landscape mode. You can select so much more text. That was way more comfortable or easy to do than having to always do it like this. Extra screen size. Handy. Right, puppy? But I will say that it will hold up from wear and tear as it's. But I will say it's going to hold up to wear, but it's going to help. But I'll say it'll hold up from a wear and tear. But I'll say it holds up in a wear. But I'll say it holds up in a wear. And this weak ass polycarbonate shell does. And this weak. Oh, that's too hot. Ah, that's too hot. Shouldn't have chugged that gulp. Should have sipped it. Oh, throat burning.